Hey everybody, welcome to day 10 of OpenAI. It drops things for 12 days. The 12 days of OpenAI, otherwise known as Shipmas. We hope that you can hear the sound coming from the screen because we can. And so we're not going to miss a minute, not a second, not even their very first words. I'm Beth. I have Jyunmi and Brian with me. Brian, what do you think is dropping today?
I don't know.
What's your
Honestly,
prediction?
I don't. I'm not sure. I hope it's something to do with DALL-E, but I've said that since day one, so that hasn't changed or whatever. As I was working in Custom GPT, although I don't expect this, I was thinking, wow, their actions and Zapier connections and things like that are a little outdated and probably could use some updating. But I don't expect that. That's sort of a one-off, They've already kind of done some custom GPT updating, a little bit at least with Canvas. So yeah, I don't know. I will say DALL-E, I guess, for lack of a better idea.
So Reddit agrees with you. That's one of the top ones, right? Jyunmi, are you thinking DALL-E too?
I would like DALL-E. And like I was saying before stream, not so much because of a great, the next version of DALL-E would be great, but just to see the back and forth, was it the fight between OpenAI and Google? Google, OpenAI announces Sora, Google announces VO2, Imagen 3, DALL-E 4. I think with all of these companies battling it out, we're gonna win in the end, right? So,
yeah.
So it'd be great to see that. I'd also love to see that. So people have been also talking about operator, and that's essentially the idea of the agent features, actual agent features. I think that would be awesome. I doubt a new model, but I guess that would be my number 3, or just something like totally left field, like no one thought about it, no one's been rumoring or anything like that, but some feature nobody even thought about to just come out of left field, and hopefully, but an awesome one. And then of course, it might be a Microsoft ad, but let's hope not. But that's where I'm at.
I am hoping for folders or some upgrade to custom GPTs. Brian may be right that the upgrade would be like an action or something that makes that easier. I think that we may get a little like commercial for operator, but it's not available yet, right? That could also happen. And welcome to the stream, Andy. Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, I have an AI observer.
Hey everybody, welcome to day 10. I'm Kevin Whale, and I lead product for OpenAI. The mission of OpenAI is to make artificial general intelligence beneficial to all of humanity. And part of that is making it as accessible as possible to as many people as we can. So even though we have people on pro mode, our pro users doing super sophisticated things on our most advanced models, we also make it possible to come to ChatGPT for free and sign up and use the product without even having an account. So we launched ChatGPT originally on the web about 2 years ago. We brought it to iOS and Android about 6 months later, and more recently have launched apps on Mac and Windows. Today we're taking the next step and bringing ChatGPT to your telephone. So before we get into that, though, I want you to do one thing for me. We've been up here 10 days in a row bringing you live streams every day, and we haven't asked you anything. So now I'm asking you for one thing, which is I want you to add ChatGPT to your contacts. So go to your phone, go to your contacts app, the name is ChatGPT, and the number is 1-800-ChatGPT. 1-800-ChatGPT. What's the number?
That's 1-800-242-8478.
I didn't hear him. What's the number?
It's 1-800-242-8478.
1-800-242-8478. 1-800-ChatGPT. Go add it to your contacts now. Trust me, it's going to make this demo a whole lot more fun. So let's dive in.
Hey everyone, my name's Amadou. I'm an engineer here at OpenAI.
And I'm Antonia. I'm a product manager here at OpenAI. As Kevin said, we care a lot
Everybody
about
take a
continuing
screenshot.
to reduce barriers.
You can see the entire
for more
Dash crew
people
looking
to
at their
try out
phones as they
AI
type
and
it
see what
in.
it can do for them. And we're really excited that today we're bringing ChatGPT to you through two familiar channels, calling and WhatsApp. If
I
you're in the
can't
US,
because I'm
right
literally
now,
using
you
my
can
phone
call
as my camera.
1-800
I'll add it
ChatGPT
after.
to talk to ChatGPT by voice.
What number is that?
That's 1-800-242-8478.
Ah, thank you. Okay.
And if you're anywhere in the world, you can also message ChatGPT on WhatsApp. And this is something you can do right now during this demo. You don't have to wait till the end. Let's show you how it works.
Great.
Okay,
So
everyone,
ChatGPT is
all
great,
our
but if you
Gen
don't have a
Z and
consistent
Gen
data
Alpha
connection,
viewers,
you
they're making
might
a
not have
joke
the best,
about
connection. And
infomercials.
so
They're
if you have a phone
commercials
line,
that
you
play
can
late
jump
at
right
night
into the
on
experience.
television, on broadcast
So I'm gonna grab
television,
an iPhone and
before
I'll
you
open
watched
up my
everything on
contacts.
Netflix and
So you
YouTube.
can see I have all my contacts
There
in here,
would
and as
be
Kevin
TV
mentioned, I have
stations that you could
1-800
watch things, and
ChatGPT.
late at night,
There's a number
they
there.
would show
Yep, and then the
1-800
number,
numbers that you could call for,
1-800-242-8478.
for
And
whatever,
I'm
if
going
you
to
needed a
plug in.
lawyer, or if you needed to buy a
Hello
service.
again. It's ChatGPT, an AI assistant. Our conversation may be reviewed for safety. How can I help you?
Hey chat, I'm on a road trip with Kevin and Antonia, and we're on the 280 highway between San Jose and San Francisco, and there's this really colorful house with domes that we're curious if you can help us figure out what it is.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Those sound like the famous Flintstone house in Hillsboro near San Francisco. It's known for its unique, colorful, dome-shaped architecture, and sometimes called the Flintstone house because it looks like it's straight out of the cartoon. Cool sight to see on a road trip.
Yeah, it was very cool. That's got to be it.
Yeah, it's cool, but are people allowed to build houses like that anymore?
Yeah, it's pretty wild, right? Generally, as long as the structure meets local building codes and zoning laws and doesn't violate any homeowners association rules, people have a lot of creative freedom in how they design their homes. The Flintstone house is a good example of some out there architecture that's still within the rules. It definitely stands out.
Gives you some thoughts about your own place.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks, chat. We'll take that in consideration, and maybe we'll be building a Flintstone house soon.
Awesome. So that's ChatGPT on an iPhone from the car. But what if you don't have an iPhone? I recently went home and I found this old phone.
Is that like a foldable iPod?
It is a state-of-the-art flip phone from some years ago. Do you think I can call ChatGPT with this?
I have no idea.
Let's give it a shot.
Let's try
Gen
it.
Z.
Okay, so I'm going to dial
This is a flip phone.
1-800
1-800
242 8478.
8478.
And I want to ask it for some language help.
Hello again. It's ChatGPT, an AI assistant. Our conversation may be reviewed for safety. How can I help you?
Hey, Chat. I met my friend's grandmother's house, but her grandmother only speaks Spanish. Can you teach me how to say, hello, it's such a pleasure to finally meet you, in Spanish?
Sure. You can say, Hola, es un placer finalmente conocerte. Give it a try.
Hola, es un placer finalmente conocerte. How's that?
So does that mean you could just use it for translation
That sounds
between two
great.
people?
You're all set to impress your
Yeah.
friend's grandmother.
That'd be
Yes.
cooler than this.
All right,
I-
that was cool. I haven't seen one of those.
Also, I
before.
can't figure out why I
You know
would
what?
call
I'm
in
gonna
the
take your
ChatGPT, but okay.
flip phone, and I'm
The,
gonna raise you.
the idea that popped in my
a
head
rotary phone.
was, oh wow!
I don't think I've purchased one of these
was
before, actually. But maybe
was
I can call ChatGPT on
ChatGPT
this.
is going to
Give it a go.
single-handedly
All right. I mean, this works like
make
half the time in practice,
bring
so let's see
back
if we can
making
do it.
phone calls.
What's the
with
number
your
again?
phone.
That number
It'd be way
is
cooler if this was in movie
1-800-242-8478.
Okay, let's see.
So
Oh,
All right.
Gwen called this
800
in the chat. Gwen's like, it'd be cooler if it was a
2
dial phone.
4 2 8 4 7.
No lie, my parents had
Eight. I
a
can't
rotary
believe
phone
we
in
used to
their
use these
house,
things.
in their bedroom until
Hello again. It's ChatGPT,
way late in
an
the
AI
90s.
assistant. Our conversation may be reviewed for safety. How can I help you?
Hey, chat, can you explain reinforcement fine-tuning to me as if I were 5 years old?
Sure. Imagine you have a robot friend, and you want
Listen to that
clean up
pristine
your room. You
connection.
give it a treat every time it does a good job. That's reinforcement fine-tuning. The
This
robot
demo is
learns
kind
to do
of
better by
ridiculous to
getting
me.
rewards.
Like,
Awesome.
why wouldn't it
All
work
right.
on different
Thanks so
phones
much,
if
chat.
you're calling a number?
So I guess you can even call ChatGPT on a rotary phone.
Now do it payphone.
So that is
go
called
Yeah, right.
ChatGPT.
Try-
If you
use
get-
a different
if you
Find
use
a
this phone number,
payphone.
You can get 15
What if I was-
of free
What
calls
if I was at
per
a
month
different
with
type of
ChatGPT.
phone?
Download our app and create an account if you want to talk for even longer. But we have one more thing to show you today, and that is ChatGPT on WhatsApp. So let me
For the
go
rest
ahead
of
and
the
get
world.
this phone, and I'm going to start a WhatsApp conversation with ChatGPT. The three of us were
Everywhere
planning to make
that's
dinner
not the
tonight,
US.
but we haven't figured out what we want to make.
So I
So-
can't
Is that
text
1-800
ChatGPT, but I can
ChatGPT?
WhatsApp
It
In
is.
your
it.
contacts?
It is in my contacts, and I can just tap it
Amazing.
to start a WhatsApp conversation. And I am going to ask it for maybe a pesto recipe for tonight.
Okay, that sounds good.
Hey, chat, can you give me a recipe for pasta with pesto
Because it's WhatsApp,
tonight?
they don't have to
I'll fire that off to
apply
ChatGPT.
or
see what it
adhere
And
to
that gets sent off. It's
European
running the 4.0 mini model, and it begins generating response.
privacy
As soon as it
laws
has a message,
because
it will
it's
send
not.
that, and it will
They're
continue
not
to send
offering
messages
the
until
Surface
it's
as the
completed.
app. WhatsApp
Awesome.
is
So it
the
has
app.
come back with
They're
a
just
simple and
offering it
delicious
as a connection
pesto
through
recipe.
WhatsApp. It-
Ooh.
It's given me
It's
the
sly.
ingredients,
It's totally
some
sly.
fresh basil leaves, some pine nuts,
So
some
why don't
garlic
they use
cloves,
WhatsApp phone calling
some
instead
Parmesan
of
cheese,
text?
and then it also tells me what I need for the pasta.
Because this gives you a
and then it
a
gives me some
readout?
instructions for how to make the pesto, how to cook the pasta.
Gwen's like, okay, so this
and
is a
how to
small
combine
stuff. This is
them
a stocking
into a
stuffer.
final dish.
Yes,
So that
Yes.
sounds pretty good to
this is
me.
the definition of a stocking
You know, that sounds
stuffer.
pretty good, but right now in this moment, I decided I'm going to become
Ooh.
vegan. So
Okay,
I would
this is a
love
call
see
out
if we
to-
can update it to
excuse me,
satisfy
sorry.
that.
That
This is a
was
call
life
out to all the
decision you
phone
made on this
freakers
live
out
show.
there.
Right now, we're
Okay.
connected with
Um,
everyone here.
Can
Okay,
you
I
break
think ChatGPT can do that.
this
So
1-800
let's
number?
say I
Can you
need to
find a more
update the
interesting way
recipe
to
be
use it?
vegan.
Apparently, they showed it on a rotary. That means
Actually, it's interesting.
it
It
should
looks
be
like it already had
tone-based.
anticipated.
It should be able to read all
that
of
I might need some
all of
different
those kinds of things,
options,
all the
so
signal-based
now it'll
things.
give me the full
So
recipe.
if you see this, let me
it is
know.
back,
I think it
and
would
it
be
is telling me that
awesome
for
to
the
see
vegan
how this gets tweaked.
we are going to
Statements and recommendations by Jyunmi
swap out
Hatcher do not
nutrition
reflect the
for Parmesan.
full
And it again gives me
Daily
a set of
AI show.
ingredients.
Those
For
are
educational
individual-
purposes only.
Instructions for how to
We
make
do not advocate
Vegan.
any particular action.
I mean, 5 minutes ago that sounded good, but I actually just decided that I will only eat meat now as of this live stream. So is there something we could do for me?
Sure. Let's try that. So I'll
More
say
skill.
Kevin only eats meat. What can we make for him?
I mean, the fact that it has
And while
context
that's going
memory in
off,
this
if
case
you
is cool.
scan this QR code,
Look at that.
if you take out your camera and scan that, it will drop you directly into the WhatsApp experience.
And
still can't figure out why
now
I
we have a
wouldn't fill in my
response.
app,
So
but I
if
guess it's
Kevin
not
only
working.
eats meat, we can prepare a hearty meat-based dish to complement our vegan pesto.
If you can't figure out why you would use
And
this, you
It's suggesting
would
some
not
grilled or
use this.
pan-seared
Yeah, I'm
chicken,
not the target audience.
some steak with garlic butter, some meatballs and marinara
Gwen's over
sauce,
his diet.
some grilled sausages,
I'm with you,
or some
Gwen.
bacon
It's
wrapped
like
chicken.
somebody's
or
like
pork.
behind the camera telling them
Thank
to
you for
stretch.
accommodating my last minute
Yes.
life change.
Well, it was all ChatGPT.
Come up with more to say on a
One other thing to call out with
3-second
this. So right now, this is a
update.
text-based conversation only. You can talk to it without needing an account. We're working on ways down the road for you to be able to also authenticate with your ChatGPT account, and that's how you'd be able to access additional features like chatting with images or search. For now, those features are just available on our mobile app and on our website.
Okay.
All right, we're just getting started making ChatGPT more accessible to all of you. So just to recap, today you can, if you're in the US, you can call ChatGPT. You can also globally message ChatGPT on WhatsApp.
I think
And
that's
I just want
the
to give a
biggest
shout out
story
to the
here.
team. This came out of the Hack Week project. Team built this just a few weeks ago, and we loved it. And they hustled really hard to ship it, and it's awesome to see it here. So before we go, just remember, add ChatGPT to your contacts. That's 1-800-ChatGPT. What's the number again?
That's
Oh my God.
1-800-242-8478.
All right.
I feel bad
Thanks
for
so
this
much.
guy.
Hope you enjoy it. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Did he have anything more
One
to-
positive point out of this.
Yeah.
You can get the voice mode experience with interacting with ChatGPT via the quality and bandwidth requirements of a telephone call. So you don't, if you are in a no cell phone service, area, but you just got 3G or LTE or whatever the base version, you can still get the answers you need by making a phone call as opposed to needing, high bandwidth internet service.
No,
that's my positive takeaway.
You know what? That's a fair one. I think you hit one that actually makes sense to me. And around the world makes sense to me because, for anybody who has not traveled outside the United States, WhatsApp is a massive communications app. All my friends and family who live outside the United States, that's how we talk, through WhatsApp. But if you live in the States and, you don't know or interact with people outside of the country, you may not think WhatsApp is a big deal. That's a big deal to be able to have context and all that. But what you just said, Jeremy, yeah, sure. Jyunmi is
it's okay. It's the long list of versions that I've heard in my life.
Yeah. What you said actually makes sense because now I can think of a use case. You know me, I have to have the visual in my head. Okay, I'm on the side of the road. My car just stopped working. I'm pulled over, and now I have the power of ChatGPT to problem solve, even though I don't have video or anything, just to be able to say, I have a such and such model, make a model car. This is what's currently happening. This is the sound I'm hearing. And I don't know if I can drive this 2 more miles to a shop. I'm worried. I see steam. What would be okay to test in order of like ABCs, like you would for airway, breathing, circulation, right? Like you would if somebody was down. So like those kind of things, like what are the ABCs that I should be thinking about in order? And then having ChatGPT, now you have the whole power of the language model. That's not something you necessarily need search for per se. You can probably get some basic stuff, and it could be very, very helpful. So good call on that, because I think I was struggling outside of the initial access, which they're right. It is giving people access to a very powerful tool from around the world, but that one makes sense to me. So good call on that.
I asked for this from Perplexity before. I would be delighted if ChatGPT did it as well, or instead. I want the ability to send a voice memo or a text to initiate a voice conversation with me when I am driving. And like I could say, hey Siri, don't answer me. Yes, all the Siris are now like, hello, thank you for involving us. Send a text to 1-800-242, 4 numbers that follow that. Look in our chat higher up because I wrote it down. And then that could initiate a voice back and forth conversation with me. I would like that. And maybe that's something I can do as a Siri shortcut, but
I would like to test the translation. I can see that being valuable. So what I'm going to do while you guys are still talking is I'm going to quickly go into ChatGPT and create a quick transcript between me and me, but one part is going to be in Spanish because that's about the only thing I have a half chance of pronouncing right, and I'll probably butcher it. And English, and let's just see if it can do live translation, because dialing and getting live translation, that's pretty huge. I don't know if they would allow that in hospitals because they have translators for that job, and obviously you got to be careful about what's being communicated about, those kind of things. But I could see that being valuable. So let's I'm going to go off screen off here in a second and see if I can create a quick translation.
I mean, they have translators for the job, but that doesn't mean the translator is always there in the emergency.
Yeah, but they have rules. They have HIPAA rules and all that stuff. I mean, general questions like how are you feeling and stuff that don't get into their personal information. Yes, but it gets really, really dicey there as to what a hospital would actually allow you to dial into.
That's true.
So probably not in that kind of setting, but there's plenty of other settings where you might.
Yeah, like I'm thinking of just on the street kind of thing, right? Just dial it up. Hey, I need directions to something. Can you help me with directions? Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks. That kind of thing. Because that's going to be faster than necessarily typing things out, translating it, reading it. You type it back. Now, I'm sure translation, specialized translation hardware and software will do it optimally. And we're always waiting for our glasses so that it'll real-time translate and vice versa and things like that. But just being able to make a quick call, I guess that's the real crux of it. How easy, like they said it was a hack week, feature. And so, yeah, totally stocking stuffer kind of thing here. It isn't big announcements, but this could be one of those things that people find incredibly useful, but it just never, becomes famous or whatever, because, it's all based on behavior. Now, like I said earlier, I made a joke that this is going to bring back telephone calls, right? Who calls on their phone anymore? I mean, rarely, right? It'll be interesting to see how much integration they can get with other things, right? Because that'll be the interesting layer too. Is like, oh, it'll interact with other apps, or you can now use it as voicemail. Just whatever is old is new again, kind of thing. I think that would be hilarious.
Okay. Do you guys want to see if this works?
Yeah. Let's see what it turns out to be.
All right. So this is going to be a quick conversation from two people, and they're talking about when do they want to get lunch together? Do you want to grab lunch later? And they're supposed to be grabbing lunch at 1:30 at the new cafe downtown. So that's the quick back and forth. And I have some quick translations here just to help me out in case it goes awry. But this is really basic stuff. So let's just see.
Hi, I'm ChatGPT, an AI assistant. Just so you know, our conversation may be reviewed for safety. By continuing this call, you agree to OpenAI's terms and privacy policy. So, how can I help you today?
Hey, ChatGPT, I have a new coworker, but they only speak Spanish and I only speak English. I was wondering if you could be our live translator for our conversation.
Sure, I can definitely help with that. Just let me know what you want to say, and I'll translate it into Spanish for your coworker.
Okay, great. And then they will respond in Spanish and you'll translate that back for me?
Exactly. I'll translate their response back to you in English. Let's get started whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm talking to my coworker now. Hi there, how's it going?
¿Cómo estás?
Hola, todo bien, ¿y tú?
They said, hello, all good. And you?
Oh, I'm doing great, thanks. So do you want to go grab lunch later?
Me alegra escucharlo. ¿Te gustaría ir a almorzar?
Sí, suena bien. ¿A qué hora?
They said, yes, good idea. What time?
Let's say 1:30. Does that work?
Digamos a la 1:30. ¿Está bien?
Sí, perfecto. ¿Dónde nos vemos?
They agreed and asked, where should we meet?
How about the new cafe downtown?
Hay un nuevo café en la calle principal. ¿Te parece ahí?
Perfecto. Nos vemos ahí.
They said, perfect. See you there.
Okay, thanks, ChatGPT. End scene.
Bravo.
Please, if you speak Spanish, do not come at me. It has been a
Well,
minute.
if you do speak Spanish, tell us how accurate ChatGPT was. Like, how is that a common interaction? Does that sound good to you?
It's got to be close because it was right.
Up.
Yeah, it was right with its responses as far as like the way the conversation was going. But yeah, I'd love to know that too. How close was it? So yeah, I think that's a huge use case is translation, for that kind of thing. So yeah, I could see that.
That begs me to now deep dive into how does it do with various forms of Spanish? Is it Colombian versus Dominican? You know what, Greg? Greg, I like you, Greg. I'm with you. Yes. And
if I had any chance of the only Klingon I ever hear is if I watch Big Bang Theory or something and they do that as part of the thing, but I wouldn't have a chance in of pronouncing anything correct. But something tells me Klingon is probably in there. But yeah,
that's going to be great for the next con I go to.
I was about to say,
I'll just have my phone in there and they'll be like, I want to say this. Okay. And then just have the phrases in Klingon. That'd be awesome.
We got to answer from Justin. He said her responses are good, formal but accurate. her accent is decent. There you go.
Oh,
I mean,
sweet.
really, as long as it's doable, right? That's like, it
Yeah.
doesn't even have to be great. You know, it's like when we did the French, I did a French one a long time ago, and people who spoke French laughed like hell, and they said, that's a French Canadian accent. That is not a Parisian accent. But they still understood what was being said, you know, but they were like, no, that's hilarious to them. To me, it just sounded like French, you know?
Yeah.
So
So Justin didn't mention Brian's accent.
That's right. Yeah. But, I don't know if I want to know.
But also, I think, you know, if you want Klingon, we'll do a demo over on the Sci-Fi AI show, because that should be there, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Also, no idea if it's correct or not, but this sounds like something that would be in there. I think that's look, I think it's what you said, Jimmy. Obviously, I was trying to think to myself, I'm like, when would I use this? But you're kind of right. Like, well, if you don't have Wi-Fi, you're not jumping into the app and doing it, you know, because I was just thinking, like, why wouldn't I just use voice mode? And also, you said it, Beth, but like, why wouldn't I just be in my car and say, hey, you know who, and pull it up? Because now, I mean, but to be fair, I have an iPhone 16. It would have only worked from an iPhone 15 Pro forward. So only that upper level has that. So if you have my daughter's phone or something like that, she would have to use the call in. Yeah, see, more is coming to me now. They should have talked about more of that on the demo instead of what's that number again. I feel like they could have talked about some of these use cases that would have been a whole lot more helpful than, oh, I'm just kidding, I'm not a vegan, now I eat meat. How about do something that's realistic?
If there's a sub theme to this, they have no idea how to showcase their drops, because like they bury the lead almost to a day, right? Like
they bury the lead.
It's
in fairness, they built it last week.
Yeah, right. You know what they did is they had a meeting, Andy, and they said, so we have our 12 days, right? And everybody's like, Ari, 12 days. Great, let's put them up on the board really quick. And they're like, oh my God, there's only 11. There's only 11. All right, quick. We know what we want to end on. We're going to end on a high. That's on days 11 and 12. What do we need? What do we need? All right, Apple's are doing their days. We need a day 10.
They stumbled into something that actually is broadening the access. And right. And that's what I say.
Exactly.
That no other system provides that facility. No other AI, major frontier model provider with, advanced voice mode is offering that.
Yeah.
All right. I went from a meh to a my initial reaction was meh. This is a stock. It's actually, I'm coming around. Now that we've spoken, the clear experts in the area here, about how this could be used. I think there are some cool use cases for this. But
nice. Yeah.
Depends on where you are, right?
Okay, so Woody says they asked ChatGPT, they figured out they only had 10, and they asked ChatGPT to come up with 11 and 12.
That's
but
right.
Also, they have non-tech, non-English speaking parents. And so this is actually a great use case for people like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now becomes multi-generational and things like that. Yeah. I could totally see that. And then Alessandro mentioned that they built AI BERT, so they used BERT model. You built that for translation, is that right, Alessandro? Is that what you're saying there? Because that's super impressive. Yeah. Or BERT's an early foundational model that
from Google, right?
Building stuff up.
From Google.
Yeah.
So one of the things that would have improved the demo is or your demo actually, Brian, would be having a three-way call with ChatGPT. So you have a telephone conference with your parents abroad, or even a multi-party system like that with the ChatGPT translating.
For sure. I mean, they just had, I wasn't on, I was watching the replay with some of you guys, but she was from Sweden, right? And her accent was tough for me to I was really leaning in to understand her accent, and she was speaking English, but it was just tough. It was tough to really catch everything she was saying. Obviously I'm assuming she speaks Swedish. So if that's one of the languages, then why not have her there, or anybody to demonstrate, that capability. I think that would have been
also
really
if they could build in some instructions, or you could just establish some instructions from the very get-go. It's like, I want you to be like, don't be the third person responding. Just take our conversation and translate it on the fly.
Right.
And that way it isn't, they said this, da 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 da. It's more of just a conversation between the two of you. I think that would be a nice little add-on too.
And Justin's asking the question that I had too. How long of a conversation can you have, right? It definitely had memory for the very many vegan and all meat all the time recipes, but that was still a relatively quick conversation, so we're just not sure.
They said there's limits, right? And they're looking towards being able to connect it to your pro accounts for longer conversations and added functionality. It just wasn't something they had ready. But to be honest with you, I don't know that that's really where the use case is here. I think it is basically the 1-800 version of their free chat, which they made, universal. And this is just an extension of that. So the last I checked, the models were trained up through, I want to say October of last year. So it should have, if it's just using the basic 4.0 chat, I believe the training is up through last year, but I can ask really quick. How
it was October 23, right?
That's what I think. Yeah. At 23. Yeah. So a little over a year. How recent?
I'd also like to see if I could have my earbuds in, have my phone running with it, and go watch a foreign film without subtitles. I think that would be a fun experiment.
Well, like, this is a really interesting thing. And again, I'm going to bring up the Sci-Fi AI show. The first episode we did on the Universal Translator and or the Universal Communicator, right? The idea that in space you're going to come upon people who do not speak your same language and you don't speak theirs because they're totally new. And that was like a really interesting idea. And if we look back when that was, and I don't know, maybe it was September, August,
a few months.
So much has changed.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like the entire show would be completely different now for the same use cases. And one of the things that we wondered then was, will this do for like travel and in language in a way what GPS did for driving places? Like, does this give you confidence to go places where you wouldn't go before because you are going to be able to engage in a communication thing, and this isn't based on you having Wi-Fi, it's based on you having cell service?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, so I did this on while you guys were talking, and I said, what are you trained up through? October 2023, so that hasn't changed. And then I asked in the new search for the new 1-800 ChatGPT that was announced today, is there a context limit or call time limit? And it says as of December 18th, blah blah blah. They do have voice conversations. In these voice interactions, there is a single conversation limit of 1 hour, after which you would need to start a new chat to continue. This is separate from any daily usage limits that may apply. Regarding context limits, ChatGPT's memory is measured in tokens, with GPT-4 models supporting up to 32.7 thousand tokens. Since one word typically consists of 1 to 3 tokens, this allows the model to remember up to approximately 10,000 words in a single interaction. Exceeding this limit may result in a model truncating or losing information, so on and so forth. 1 hour. That's really what we need to get out of that, is that there's a 1 hour call limit, which is, by the way, way longer than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like 5 minutes. So 1 hour is massive. I mean, you could be waiting for tow trucks and and like really, keeping a line of thing. And it's not like you couldn't just hang up and call again. You would just lose context, for the call. So, which is great too, by the way. Like, at 1 hour allows you to have, like, if you were given a set of tasks to maybe check out a car or whatever the process was, like I was mentioning before, to be able to go have like another 5 or 6, 7 minute conversation about B, and then go, okay, what was A again? And be able to come in and have that in context. So that 1 hour is actually pretty impressive, considering it's something they're 100% footing the bill for. And I would imagine will be used a lot. I mean, obviously people will play with it over the next couple of days and it'll die down, but I still think it's actually going to be used quite a bit.
Well, I think this is a great excuse for a new adventure game, honestly. We've had our choose your adventure idea, How far and how quickly can you go around the world without knowing any of the languages, just using ChatGPT so OpenAI, if you want the PR, the beautiful PR that's going to come from travel the world with ChatGPT, let me know. I'm more than happy to circumnavigate the world just using ChatGPT to translate. I think that would be super fun. Give me a call, 1-800-CHAT-GPT. DailyAIShow.com, where you can send us, where you can get in touch with us and sign up for the newsletter. All right, cool.
I mean, just the vision alone from the other day with with traveling is huge. To be like, you know, you're in a city or something like that, and it's dense streets, or like over in Europe where things aren't particularly perfectly marked. You know, having some ability to go like, which way should I try to go, and you know, that kind of stuff. That would have been really cool just over in Paris. And Paris is a modern city, so it's like everything was marked for the Olympics or whatever. That wasn't really an issue, but definitely for translation and stuff, and being able to take a picture and be like left, right, or center, you know, for that would have been super cool. So this would have been a nice addition to that in the WhatsApp app in that case, you know, but you would have obviously had to have some sort of cell service or data coverage for WhatsApp. So, you know, goes back and forth.
And they said in the demo that they are looking to add like images, right? So that you could conceivably call and then maybe text an image or images. I guess maybe that's more WhatsApp, at least more natively to WhatsApp. Cool.
Yeah, if you're on the phone call, and just like when they do code verification when you're talking to like your cell phone or internet provider, and they're like, I just sent you a text message with a code, like that kind of thing, because you're calling, you're on the same number. And then for it to say, you're like, well, do you have an image of what that looks like? And they're like, yeah, hold on. And they're like, okay, we just sent you a picture. Let us know when you can see it in your text.
Yeah.
Like that makes sense, right? That you would have that extra, it would generate it or go find it for you and then deliver it in a text message. I could see that working as well. So I mean, hey, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also looked up the Flintstone house, which I had never heard of before, and that's kind of an interesting picture. You may have seen that we are actually regularly on at 10 a.m. For the Daily AI Show, and 7 a.m. Pacific. And tomorrow we are talking about a previous drop. We're talking about ChatGPT projects and some use cases for them. We're going to pick Brian's brain because he's not going to be there tomorrow, but he is a big projects fan. So, and we all have some examples. So yay. I hope you can join us then. And thanks so much. We will also be back for the next 2 days of drops. And like, they've got to be, that's what we should do. Quick, what is dropping tomorrow? Is tomorrow DALL-E? Because come on.
I'll just keep saying it until it happens or doesn't. So. And then
I'm going to see DALL-E, and then Friday will be Operator. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going big. It's the 12th day. Friday's going to be big. I'm going GPT-5 on that one.
I'm going the same, but it's GPT 4.5, not GPT-5. Boo.
I don't want incremental increases. Go 5 or call it GPT next or do something cool.
No, it should just be GPT 4.0, but with a new mode. Smell-o-vision. So they add olfactory.
That would be going big.
And on that note, thanks everybody. Hope to see you again.
See you guys tomorrow.
Aloha.